Good evening, SRA Nation, and welcome to Season 14. Once you've got qualifying, then the main 1 hour race. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Sim Racing Alliance. And this is where it all counts. As all eyes go to the light, and we are racing.
He brakes late, almost takes out the car ahead of him.
He's getting a tow, a flash.
Argy round the exit, rear end squiggle. Who's going to get the move done here around the outside?
Oh, dang!
Byron ran it so shallow there, and this has become a 4-car battle. Game of inches as the BMW is in the paint.
And we're off and away for SRA.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final race of Season 15 for Division 5. I am Stephanie Fisher, back in the booth this week with Trey Morgan, who I abandoned last week. He had to hold it down all by himself.
Yeah, it was a fun race last week. Had a little bit of a fun time, a little bit of stuttering, but that's because I don't have God internet like you do.
Yeah, it's the only reason they like me around here.
Well, not the only reason.
It's the
I
main
feel like you're
reason.
selling yourself. You're just selling yourself short here.
We'll see. I try, but I know that I don't have the same base knowledge as everybody else. So I'm flavor and good internet. I know my place around here.
I mean, you got no more knowledge than me. You've been driving an ACC for a lot longer than I have.
Yeah, but I haven't been driving for a while, and so it's, it's all going out the brain like a leaky sieve. So we'll see. We'll see. I try. Well, looking ahead at the season calendar, there's nothing to look ahead because this is the last race.
No, we have to look ahead for the next hour and a half of racing. It should be a lot of good fun because we're at Monza, which means a whole lot of fast driving, maybe not a whole lot of passing, but definitely a whole lot of chaos. Hopefully we're not quite to a public lobby chaos, though.
No, we're hoping not for public lobby chaos. Hopefully we're clean. We want to see lots of side-by-side, hard racing, lots of moves being made, people trying to make moves, battles. That's what we're after here. Let's see if Monza can provide. Do you want to run us through the track since you've been practicing this? How do you like it?
Monza's, I don't know, it's an okay track is what I'll call it. It's the favorite track for a lot of people to drive because it's, for the most part, at least a simple track. You've got a few hard braking zones, but the main one is turn 1. I don't remember what it's actually called in Italian, but I know that it translates to the first chicane. So, very bland in some of their names, but also very great in some of their corner names, like turn 3 of Curve La Grande. But turn 1 is where most of our overtaking and chaos is probably going to be occurring today. But that's Sector 1 is all that, just 3 corners. Sector 2 is just 4 corners, with the second chicane not quite as tight as the first, and it's also in the opposite direction. And then you have the Lesmos at the top of the boot. Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2 are turns 6 and 7. And then you have the long run all the way down to the start of Sector 3 of Ascari. Ascari is probably the hardest set of corners, just because it's a weird switchback, and if you don't hit the curbs right, you will either be sent off all the way into the barriers either on the left or the right, or you'll just get a really slow exit all the way down to Parabolica of turn 11, which is a long right-hander. It's very easy to go wide, but because it's so important for setting up the rest your next lap, if you get on the power too late, you're going to lose. You can lose upwards of a second before the end of the lap.
I beg to differ. I think the Lesmos are the hardest turns in this track.
I mean, that is where I've had the most issues in my practice, but I've talked to enough Porsche drivers that think that the Lesmo, or not the Lesmos, Ascari is just a death trap entirely. So if you can't run curbs, I think Ascari is worse.
I don't know. I used to run the Porsche, and I'll still say the Lesmos are worse.
I'll let you discuss that with Selena Boonstra after the race.
I'll duke it out with her later about which one is the worst turn on this track. I think that also just the Lesmos are just the kind of turn they are, very different from a lot of the other turns on this track. And it's the type of turn I never got along with. I don't know what you call it, but
I don't know. They're probably like maybe the most prototypical corners. Like they're the only corners you would expect to see at another track, I guess is the best way to put it. Because at least from the F1 games when I was playing them, you could very much tell who was running a high setup or a high downforce setup versus a low downforce setup, depending on whether they were faster through sectors 3 and 1 or in sector 2.
Maybe that's my problem. I blame the setup, not the fact that. See, they remind me of the like some of the corners at Laguna Seca. There's this sort of like I guess it's a mid-speed kind of thing, but you got to take them weird and you break points weird, and it's just I don't know.
That's fair.
I'm gonna blame the setup though, because that's what fast people do.
Yeah, it's always the setup.
Well, we're gonna look at our standings here quick, as we were discussing earlier. We'll let you go over this because you did all the numbers. You did so much work for this. So, go ahead, run us through.
Yeah, so much work. So our gold championship is essentially a 2-horse race between Cliff Hemian and SIG SVG. They are currently 66 points apart. Cliff Hemian really does he's not quite locked it up, but in order for SIG SVG to take the championship, if you don't include fastest lap and pole points, then if I remember correctly, I can look this up later, but SIG SVG would have to win, and then Cliff Hemian would have to finish, I believe, 16th or worse in order for SIG SVG to get the gold championship win here today. So not very likely, but still definitely a chance. So Cliff Hemian's going to look for stability here, maybe not pure pace. Behind them, we have a very close battle for third between Nolan Witt, Andrew Duong-Bonglio, JP May, Neil Leader, and Juicy Jake. They are all about 22 points away from each other. So the podium spot in this championship, while maybe not quite as, maybe not what you want exactly compared to the overall champion, is very close between those 5 drivers for that last podium spot of the championship.
Hey,
and then
it's
for
a shoey, so it's still important.
Yeah, it's true. But then for the silver championship, it is a 2-horse race between Cameron Hastings and Emil Garcia. In order for Emil Garcia to get into the championship or get that silver championship, they would have to finish top 5, and Cameron Hastings would have to finish P26, I think it was. I could be wrong on that, but something like that. So
awesome.
Again, we have a lot of close battles up front, but very unlikely to see our overall championship change.
And when it comes to team standings, I'm going to put my spectacles on so I can see it. I got to read. So the SIG SVG and Cameron Hastings are currently leading with 850 points, but 44 points behind them is Red Eagle Racing with Juicy Jake and Neil Leader. So it's two cars in each team trying to grab points and hopefully not lose any points. Behind them, you've got Box with Austin Thibodeau and Cameron Thibodeau in the Ford. They're 109 points behind, so you'd have to have all 4 drivers of the 2 teams of Yellow Subs Racing and Red Eagle Racing have a pretty bad time of it today, I think, in order for them to take that team championship away. So it's going to be between the Yellow Subs Racing and Red Eel Racing. Depending how things pan out today, we'll determine that one. So as they're getting ready to go out for their qualifying, I'm going to pay the bills. Sorry.
A huge thank you to our SRA sponsors and title sponsors for supporting us here at SRA, as well as support from Documise, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documise.com to learn more today. And support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your favourite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. And a big thank you to our affiliates, Track Racer. Experience redefined gaming with Track Racer's high-quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SRATE at checkout to support us. Armamentario, a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. Enjoy a fully customizable and enhanced HUD to change the way you experience ACC. AT3D Sim Shop. Upgrade your sim racing experience today with premium 3D printed accessories featuring precision crafted magnetic shifters, sleek cable management solutions, versatile stream deck mounts, and immersive dashboard displays. Their innovative designs enhance performance and style, elevate every lap with top-tier quality and craftsmanship at at3d.net. Go Setups, premium esports setups for everybody. Use our affiliate link on our Discord and take your drive to the next level. Castle and Cauldron, a home-based crafting business specializing in handmade Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts, and Fairy World collectibles. Magic wands, potions, mini dioramas, wall decor, costumery, cosplay, and much more. Castle and Cauldron is where crafting meets the magical. Visit facebook.com/Castle Cauldron. And from KP Concepts, your source for custom automotive renderings, graphic design, and printing. We spend countless hours making you look all good for the spectacle. Check out kpconcepts.com for more.
As they are now out on qualifying silver drivers out here. We're currently looking at Cameron Hastings in the 139 McLaren. It looks like we only have 19 cars out in the field today.
That's a very small number. So a lot less than I think we were expecting, especially since it's Monza. I would have assumed that more people would be familiar with this track and just want to join, but also it's the end of the season and there's only four drivers in contention for their individual championships and probably maybe 6 drivers for the team championship. So I can definitely understand why some people don't want to join. That does make Cameron Hastings' job a lot easier, though, for guaranteeing him the silver championship.
It does, because the only silvers that showed up would be Mr. Hopkins here. We see Andrew Hopkins. I keep wanting to say Anthony, and I know it's not right. And Jacobs, Cox, and Acomb are the only other silver drivers that... Oh, sorry. Nope. We've got a Thibodeau out there. Sorry to... Dan Thibodeau. Okay. To double check. Make sure I said Dan. So Dan Thibodeau.
Dan.
Yeah. Cannot forget Dan. And that lovely little Lexus. So Dan Thibodeau, Hastings, Hopkins, Jacobs, Cox, Acomb, and Garcia. So that would be 7. I can count. 7 silver drivers.
So while we're watching Dan have a tank slapper moment there through the exit of Ascari, see, Ascari's hard.
Going straight. Like, it's okay.
Anyway, I know we're focused for drivers for a moment, but the one thing I could just be missing him, but I don't see Cliff Hagan. Oh, he just now joined and just left.
Oh, I see.
So
Hemian
he is here.
and
Okay.
Sig. Okay, our two gold drivers that are up in contention. And I'm hoping I didn't lose my co-host here.
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. Your pip went black, and I couldn't hear anything, so I got nervous.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening with my pip. It's being terrible right now, so I apologize for it looking crappier than normal.
Oh, it's fine. So we have
So I guess go ahead.
As I said, the Parker fan club is in the house. Had to acknowledge them.
It's hard not to acknowledge them.
Yeah, I don't want to not acknowledge them. They're great. We love the Parker fan club.
Exactly.
So currently, Cameron Hastings holds the P1 position of the silver drivers with a 148.897.
He's got almost a second gap back to Hopkins. And I do expect him to hold maybe not that exact gap, but hold a gap. So going to the hot laps for today, Cameron Hastings actually leads everyone in total lap time. He had a 147.6 in the qualifying, or in the practice, which according to our reference times, that's a D2 time. However, I will note that the reference times for this week seem to be very low, or slow is what I'll call them, not low, because there's only like more than half of the D5 grid that has put down a lap for today is in the D4 times, and the top 8 are all in D3, and then the top 2 are both in D2.
Phew,
So I think they need to reset the reference times here for Monza a little bit.
I think they've talked about resetting reference times a few times over the last few seasons. I'm not sure if they ever did that. I will say that it's not the easiest task considering the BOPs that they have to put on. So it's not like you can just grab, go as fastest lap and do a multiplier on that. It's not that simple anymore because the fastest cars are going to have a ballast and they're not going to be as fast. So, and all you guys here are getting faster with every season. So that makes it doubly hard. The formulas don't work.
Yeah, that's fair. I know that I've certainly gotten faster over the last few seasons because I started D6 first year, obviously. Then the next season, I did 3 races in D5 before getting bumped up to D4. And I know that everyone around me has also gotten faster by a good chunk. There were guys I was racing with in D5 for my 3 races last season that are already up in D3. So
yeah, and it's just amazing the progress that people made that you started with. Like, it's the same thing for me. I started here in D5 a couple of years ago, or I don't know how long ago, but anyway, it was a while ago. And just seeing where all those guys are today in all the different ranks, it's really fun.
yeah, watching people improve really does it. If you're the correct kind of driver is what I'll call it. It puts a drive into you that hopefully you can use to better yourself and get yourself faster, assuming that you're in the competitive spirit anyways. But if nothing else, it's really cool to see everyone improve as they keep racing.
And then there's some that they're happy where they are and they're happy to just keep racing in the same spot and they just enjoy doing it.
Yeah, I know people in both categories. And as long as you're having fun while you're racing, I don't see any issue with how you approach it. Speaking of having fun, Garcia jumps up to P4. suppose we might as well actually talk about what's happening on track.
Yeah, we should. All right, go Emil. That was great. That was, what, 4 positions? He was at the bottom of the silver field when we put the camera on him.
Yep, went from P7 to P4. Dan Thibodeau crosses the line with a slight improvement, but not enough to jump Garcia for that P4 position. And they are now done. There's only one driver improving on track at the moment, and that's Anthony Hopkins. I think it's Anthony. I know it's A. Hopkins.
Andrew. I just
Andrew.
messed you. I said before, I'll keep wanting to say Anthony Hopkins, but I know it's wrong. It's Andrew Hopkins.
Andrew Hopkins. Hopefully we will remember that.
We will. And look at him glide over those curbs. Just sails over them like they don't even exist. Acom is also a half a second up.
I don't know if you saw that, but in Jacobs, I'm going to pull this up just to prove to you why we have issues. Jacob's spinning there in the background.
Yes, I understand when you get over into that green stuff. Oh, look at Acom just flew right through it. No problem.
That's fair. If the boat league can do it, anyone can do it.
It's exactly. Look at that. It's so shiny. And he's still like 4/10 up. We'll see how he gets to exit here, if it's better or worse. Not quite the exit he wants. He's bleeding off a lot of speed. Let's see if he can hold on to some of it before he hits that start finish.
Yeah, so he improves by just under 3/10. Not enough to jump up to P2, but he does get a better position, or he improves his P3 position, I guess. And so that gives our provisional pole and our silver pole to Cameron Hastings.
It does. And now the gold drivers are out there getting their tires warmed up and ready. Temperatures out there is 20 degrees and 25 on track. So not bad. Seems like a nice weather for racing.
So a little update on Hemian. I'm not exactly sure why, and you unfortunately can't see it other than how much he's teleporting everywhere in my screen, but he's having some form of connection issues. He is rubber banding just about everywhere, and I kind of don't expect that to be able to get fixed by the end of the race, unfortunately. So I really hate to say that this might be how he loses the championship, but there's a very real possibility that that's the case. Because you can see it there on the bottom left, on the left-hand side, where Cliff Hemian, his ping bar, which is just to the left of his manufacturer logo, is all the way red, and that means he has a very bad connection, either via packet lossage or some other form. But if he's not able to get that internet situation fixed, it will be very hard for both him to race and for other people to race with him.
And you can see on screen the flicker when we're trying to watch him as a plus, which would really bum me out because I would love to see a Porsche win this. Not likely, but you never know.
If nothing else, instead of seeing the Porsche win, which I know you're hoping for, if nothing else, I would want to see a battle on track for it, because we saw an amazing battle last week for the top 3 positions. Well, I did. You didn't, because you were stuck up there in D1. But I'm really hoping that he's able to get it figured out.
I don't know. Hemian, turn it off and back on again.
Probably not a bad idea.
Yeah. Might not have enough. You might have time to throw an actual lap in. You've got 6 minutes, so if you're fast.
Yeah, might have a chance.
Look at that slide out on the thing. See, I always end up sliding out like that and then ending up in the opposite wall. My nose in.
Yeah, that's how I've ruined quite a few laps myself. But for our first laps, Juicy Jake has gone to provisional P3 with a 1:48.7, which is a very nice lap time. still about a second off the fastest laps that we've seen so far between Cameron Hastings and SIG SVG. But I have been... I don't remember if this was just someone telling me that it should have been bopped more, like complaining about it, or if it was someone actually telling me that they wish they... or like some of the officials telling me that they wish they had. But someone was saying that the McLaren needed another, like, 5 kilograms of ballast for this race. I don't remember who told me that, though.
Not sure.
So take it with a grain of salt.
Yep.
Heavy or light salt, whichever you'd prefer.
I'll take it with the salt shaker.
All right. The whole thing of salt.
The whole thing. Just give me the whole thing. Look at those nice sausages. You just run right over them. Shoo. Anyhow, Nolan Witt's actually almost a second up on his time. He's actually having a great drive. We're going to sit on his bumper for a little longer.
Yeah, we'll throw him on the outside in the pip there as he goes through the last corner. Maybe doesn't really get the best exit through Parabolica, and he will lose time, but he should still improve.
He's not bleeding out too bad.
Yeah, he improves all the way to P3, so good job there.
Nice. Okay, I'll get off of his bumper, literally. Here's Juicy Jake, and that's Ferrari.
So good news, Cliff Hemian has managed to get a lap down. He's currently in P12, but at least, well, now P13, but like 1 or 2 times a lap, he will just randomly disappear from my timing screens. So I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, that's scary, and I do hope the best for him, because it's just not the way to win a race at all. Now, and I'm sure Sig is looking forward to battling him.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he won't turn down an easy victory. I'm sure that he would hope for a better victory than this.
I hope so. But we'll see what happens. The internet demons or voodoo or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, we need to get him an exorcist.
Yes. Need to light some more candles out here. Sig SVG almost a half second up on his time here as he approaches your favorite series of turns.
I would not say that.
I quite enjoy that set of corners.
It is a lot of fun. It's just a lot easier to mess up than you might think. I mean, I will still have more mistakes through the Lesmos, but for certain cars, Ascari is still, I think, a lot more scary.
Maybe.
But what do I know?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's probably up individual also, as Sig takes P2 with a 148.255.
Yeah, he's just 100th down from his teammate in Cameron Hastings there.
I wonder if they've been practicing together, doing teammate things.
It would not shock me. In the practice sheets, they're only about 0.15 seconds off each other overall. So they definitely... I know that they were sharing setups last week, so I would assume that they're still sharing setups and knowledge between each other. I would hope so anyways, but you never can tell. They might be a little overzealous this week in trying to beat each other, but again, if they're trying to go for that team championship, they will want to keep working together.
They will, and they are really in a good spot. So Chris Hemian here. Cliff Hemian. Oop, little wiggle. See, right there. That's what happens in the Porsche on those turns. But His internet ping looks to be maybe improving a little. Now it's not improving. I said something.
As soon
But
as we mentioned it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of bounces up and down every once in a while, so we'll have to see.
Yeah. Poor guy. So Nolan Witt has taken P1 from Hastings with a 148.142.
So good lap there, and Sig SVG is just now coming around Parabolica to start his last lap. He gets across the line with about 8 seconds left, so he will have time for one more lap.
Ooh, lucky him.
Yeah, he was getting held up a little bit before by, I believe it's Josh Parker, I could be wrong. But he has backed off about 3-4 seconds, so he should hopefully have a clean last run. But speaking of Parker, he has gotten up to P10 and has 4.5 tenths up on his last lap.
Yeah, almost a half. So let's see how he does.
And hope we don't commentators curse him.
I know, right?
Yeah, I know that I will fully blame that for what happened to me last week. So I want to try and make sure that we don't do anything like that this week.
Okay. Well, he lost some time through the Lesmos. Lesmos. Bad. Came out all right, though.
Yeah. Looking up to our pole chase, Nolan Witt is improving by about 0.2 of a second. Sig SVG is also improving, but he needs to improve by at least a tenth more than whatever Nolan Witt does this lap, and he is currently not on pace to do that. In fact, he's losing time down the backstraight toward Parabolica. Nolan Witt improves his time to a 147.9. Sig SVG is improving, but he's not gaining time. No, he is gaining time out of the Parabolica. I don't think it'll be enough. He'll be about a tenth off, and yes, he is 0.02 of a second off of pole position. And then Parker got P4.
Yeah, Parker put. Now, here's the big question: is pole position on the right or on the left?
It is on the right.
On the right.
And I think that does give a very good, well, obviously it's an incentive to get pole, but I think the inside here is probably what you want to have. Because not that you would want to throw someone off the road, because that's against the rules, but going into T1, especially here on the inside with how sharp a corner it is, it's a lot easier to force them behind you than it would be if you're on the outside. So it'll be interesting to see how T1 goes.
Well, Nolan Witt here we see on our screen. He's our P1 position in that pretty red and white Mercedes AMG. Sig SVG, and you can see his teammate back there in the matching McLaren, Cameron Hastings. Josh Parker pulled a P4 at the last minute. Mr. Jacobs here in the blue BMW is P5. Juicy Jake manages a P6. Your favorite name. Duong Bong Leo in the Lexus here at P7. Brian Acomb in the Bentley, P9. Garzozzi in the McLaren here pulls a P10. Emil Garcia in the Ford, he's at P11. Nolan Leader in the Silk Cut Ferrari, he's got P12. Dan Thibodeau in another Lexus managed to pull up P13 overall. I should have noted of the silver drivers, he is P5. Cameron Hastings, who is up in P3 in the race, he's the P1 of the silver drivers. Probably confusing more than anything. All right, Lorenzo in another Porsche is pulled P14. Ian Gilchrist in that nice orange and black livery of the McLaren, he's got a P15. Andrew Hopkins in the DuPont Mercedes representing P16. Cox in the Ferrari P17. Steven Pellerin in the Lexus for P18. JP May in another AMG P19. Mr. Cook in the BMW P20. I keep seeing this and I want to say Run DMC because it's got all the letters there. But DC.
That does.
It does. In the Bentley P21 and Mr. Rock in the Honda bringing up the rear. But I bet we won't see him there for very long.
No, and then one last thing to note about Hemian. He has disconnected again, so if he does start this race, it will be from the pit lane.
Oh.
He was supposed to line up P8 in between Duong Bonglio and Acomb, and he unfortunately is not there, so hopefully he's just resetting his router, and then we'll join up and avoid whatever chaos occurs into T1, but not 100% sure.
We shall keep an eye on him. That's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, that's just sucks. About the only hope for him at this point is for SIG SVG to just absolutely die, I guess, if he still wants to win. In order for SIG SVG to not win the championship now at this point, he would have to finish 9th or lower.
Oof.
Yeah, P9 would be 64 points. And since he did not get pole, the most he can get is the extra point from fastest lap. So that would be 65 points.
Well, hopefully he can make it back into the race.
Yeah, if he's able to make it back into the race, into a pit lane start, I'm almost confident that he could get up to P15, P16 with the incidents that are bound to occur here. But yeah, either way, not a fun way to lose your championship.
No. And they've all worked very hard for everything that they've been able to acquire and manage. So we really do want to see him make it back in here and have a good shot at this race.
Yep.
They
Also,
are.
I know we already paid our bills, but one quick shout out. Castle and Cauldron is currently out at their farmers market sales in, I believe, the Monroe County Farmers Market. I think it's in Pennsylvania, but if you search up Monroe Farmers Market, I think it's like the top search on Google. So go support him if you want cool stuff.
Oh, that's up by my dad. I have family up in Monroe County.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, now that we've gotten more money business out of the way, we are formed up here and getting ready to go through. Steph, do you have any expectations for how lap 1 or the race will go?
I have hopes. I have hopes and dreams. Hopes are that we have minimal carnage. Dreams that we have lots of really great battles. I'm not sure what reality is going to tell.
Yeah, we are not in the public lobby, but sometimes with some of the wrecks that we've seen in other divisions, specifically my division of D4, it really does look like it sometimes. But we will hope to not see that. As we are getting to the line, we have 22 cars here all on the grid, and we are a green go all the way down to turn 1, the tight turn 1. Nolan Witt gets a really good launch.
It's tight
They
though. Look
might
at them.
be 3 wide.
Oh no, please don't. Please don't. Whatever you do, don't. Stop doing it.
They
Thank
stave
you.
off going 3 wide in the front.
Oh, wait, what's
No
that?
torpedoes
Nolan,
here in the back.
what are you doing?
Oh, Nolan Witt going super slow. He might lose 2 positions to give SIG SVG and Cameron Hastings a P1, P2. They are
Well-
also side by side right behind them, between Jacobs and Josh Parker, who had to go off into the grass.
So I'm not sure why, but Nolan ended up cutting the second part of the chicane. So his liftoff may have just been because otherwise he would have gotten an advantage had he maintained his speed in that straight line that he ended up having to take. So it was very gentlemanly of him to give that up if that was what he had done.
Yeah, there was a little bit of contact in the back between, I believe that was Mike Cook and Sebastian Rock, but overall we are still green. We're very spread out, but that's mainly, I think, just due to the corner one chaos. So we are going to have a much more spread out lap one than we might normally have. Although I think my ACC... Ooh, Juicy Jake!
Oh.
Juicy Jake is off. And there's more contact. What am I replaying? I don't know what I'm replaying.
Yeah, I'm having
think-
trouble with race control myself at the moment. It's
So
trying to
unfortunately, I
form-
think we're going to have to assume it's dead.
Yeah, well, I am going to, we're going to watch Juicy Jake for a while. Oh no, we're going to watch whatever this is, okay? And I'm going to restart. This is actually a very intense battle between Cameron Hastings and Nolan Witt, as Witt tries to take his spots back. Well, I restart my race control and see if that gets me anywhere.
We can hope.
Hopes and dreams.
Josh Parker almost rear-ending Nolan Witt there into turn 2. Thankfully, he is able to avoid it, but he is still in P4. But we are having a close battle up front. Nolan Witt does hold his pass on Cameron Hastings, and so we do have a battle for at least P2 in the future.
Yep. So we're gonna do our best with some manual controls. As you know, it's decided that just death is the only option. If they weren't gonna die on track, it was gonna do it for them.
Yep.
So
While you're worrying about that, I'm going to quickly restart Assetto Corsa because that's what fixed it for me last time I had this issue. Unfortunately, you can't do that.
I can't do that, or you guys are going to miss the race. And we will hop around and check these guys out.
Yeah, overall, other than the incident with Juicy Jake and someone else right behind him, it looked like a very clean lap 1 overall. Very happy to see. Again, there were the issues into turn 1 with braking issues, which we will hopefully at some point be able to get a replay on. But overall, seemed like a very good job.
It does so far seem that way. Now here we have Parker and Jacobs in battle. Do some bear with my manual controls. Oh. We'll have a
Yeah,
bit of-
I had to deal with this 2 weeks ago, so I definitely understand the pain. All right.
Oh,
I don't know
that's,
about you, but I have my ACC race control back up, so
nice. All right.
I can warn you
will-
about stuff happening.
Beautiful. I'm gonna look at these and flip around and look for the closest things I can find.
Yeah. Toward the back of the grid, Ian Gilchrist is fighting with Emil Garcia. Emil Garcia fell way down the order. They are now side by side going into, I believe that's a Ascari? With Juicy Jake trying to get in on this action.
He is, and sorry we missed how Juicy Jake ended up back there.
Yeah, it was an incident turn 1 Ascari, I think. I caught it out of the corner of my eye and then went to try and replay, and that's when I just discovered that ACC Race Control decided to no longer work. I'm a little bit ahead there. Neil Leader has gotten past Sebastian Rock
Gonna keep an eye on
as
this.
Juicy J try to move. Sorry,
I
go
want
ahead.
it. Oh, well, we had yeah, I was supposed to say Juicy J trying that move into Parabolica.
Oh, and then up toward the front, Josh Parker tried to move on Cameron Hastings. He attempted to get a move done into turn 1, that Lexus with that straight line speed, but was not able to. He was just unable to hold it.
All right, as Gilchrist and Juicy Jake have some contact, Juicy Jake gets left out in the field as Ian continues on without him. Let's see. Josh Parker and Cameron Hastings. Keep an eye on that.
Yeah, while we're watching those two in the main screen, there's also another battle down in for P6 between Duong Bonglio, Acomb, and Garzozi. Garzozi is really close behind Acomb, but I don't know if he'll be able to catch a Bentley in tow with a Lexus.
Yeah, I'm not I don't know. I mean, the Lexus has some amazing straight line speed, but
The
I've
Lexus
noticed,
has amazing speed.
I thought they would have overall done better here than what I saw in qualifying.
Yeah, so surprisingly enough, they had to change the BOP a little bit this week, but I was surprised to learn that both what they changed it from and to for the BOP, the Lexus has a negative BOP. I think it's like minus 10 kilograms in their ballast for this race. So I would assume going through the Lesmos and Ascari are absolutely atrocious for it.
Well, I get the impression from most Lexus drivers that anytime you have to make it turn is atrocious.
Oh no, Jacobs!
Oh.
Sorry.
No,
I'll
no.
replay it here in the corner, in the bottom right-hand side.
I feel so left out.
Ugh. Yeah, so just going through the second hairpin, he hopped over the second curb, the right-handed hand curb, a little bit more than he was supposed to, as there's also another incident between Gilchrist and Cox. And this is also into the second chicane. I believe this is a contact incident. And it is, as I believe that Michael Cox tried to do a dive bomb on Gilchrist. And then after the contact, he just kept trying to plow through him. Unfortunate there for Gilchrist, who had been fighting for about P20 or so. And will now have to fall down the order. Juicy Jake has also just gotten past JP May. So lots of pace still in that Ferrari. But it looks like for the most part, for the front of our grid, we have kind of spaced out.
It does appear to be that way, and it looks like a lot of the grid is spacing out. Now, one thing I keep forgetting, and now I'm remembering, is the fuel usage on this track. So I get the impression from several people. So now, just for anyone who's not even a refresher, or who's not sure how our pit work stops here, it's a mandatory pit stops for tires, but we're not allowed to take any fuel. So what you start with needs to get you to the end of the race. And that's been a concern this week. A lot of these cars use a lot of fuel on this track.
Yeah, I don't remember if there's anyone running the 488 I know there isn't anyone running the 488 in this division.
D1
I want to say the Yarn Brother. Yeah.
D1 has, I think Dan. I almost said Dan Cram, but it's not Dan. It's one of our other admins who is running, I believe, a 488.
So whoever is running the 488 this week will have issues, because there was talk that, assuming no fuel saving, the 488 required something like 121 liters of fuel in order to make it through the entire race. It might have been 123, but it was a lot of fuel. More fuel, in fact, than you could actually fit in the car, because these cars have a fuel limit of 120 liters. And since you're not allowed to refuel, you would have to do fuel saving somewhere.
Yep. And I believe it's the same individual who is possibly leading the division, the D1. I was only up there for a week, so my data is kind of like messy, but I know we have a 488 up there. I'm pretty sure he's doing really well overall in the season, so having a problem or having to not run his fastest, yeah, that was pretty scary, is going to be problematic. And I'm hoping that all of our guys here in D5 were able to manage to get enough fuel in their cars to make it to the end of this.
Yeah. A little up in the front, Acomb tried an overtake on Duong Bonglio and absolutely overcooked it into turn 1 and went through the chicane. He has now gotten past him, though. So the Bentley can beat the Lexus speed here.
Huh. That is interesting.
I do apologize. I need to step out for a moment, so I'll be back.
That's fine. I will sit here in my on my what is currently a gimpy setup and commentate as best as I can.
All right. I'll be back quick.
Sure. JP May still looking pretty close to Juicy Jake, hoping he can make a move. We saw them try a couple of them. But it looks like he's lost a bunch of time through all of that, and we're going to hop up really fast. Sorry. Up to Garzozzi in the McLaren, who is now on the heels of Duong Bonglio, who's, not too far away from Mr. Acomb. Look at that. Garzozzi sliding right past both of them, taking advantage of some error that must have been made. And running away with that. Nice job, Garzozzi. How much is that in freedom units? Well, I'm going to have to actually use a calculator because I'm not good at... It's not that I'm good at mental math. I don't know what the formula is off the top of my head. I'm gonna hop around. Whoa, somebody went off that doesn't want to be off. This is why not having race control is terrible for me. But I would have to stop the entire stream, and I'm not going to do that to you.
Good news, I'm back.
Yay. So we've got Lorenzo, cook and leader, and there we go. I was trying to go through everybody with the shift arrow, and it was skipping people. It was really driving me nuts.
Yeah, I believe the shift arrow goes by relative position instead of overall position.
Yeah. So Cox hit the pit already, and Jacob's got his pit stop done. I'm wondering, is there a strategy for the pits on this race?
So, at least from what I know, it's just kind of your stereotypical undercut if you're stuck behind somebody. There's no true overarching strategy, at least not that I have seen. Of course, this is the first race, so if anyone like me is in an even division, you will get your strategy from this race, or one of these races probably. But this isn't really a high degradation track like some of the others. As we see Lorenzo decide not to make a move into the second chicane. Of course, with how high fuel everyone has to run, Lorenzo is interrupting me by doing an amazing move there into second Lesmo. He forced Mike Cook to change his line a little bit out of the second chicane, made him think a little bit too much, and he's gotten past him.
He has. Beautiful job by Lorenzo there, you know, doing the mental mess and just taking advantage of it, being able to do that quickly. Nice work.
Oh, there's a question in the comments. I need to figure this out, unless you answered it.
Oh, the freedom units?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you need to figure that out. I went, I don't know the formula.
So 120 liters is 31.7 gallons.
You know, that's a lot of fuel in one car.
It is. Also, fun fact, did you... actually, no, I'm going to look this up before I say this.
Wait. I have a feeling these, P10 to 14 is going to be our main race for now. These guys are really sticking together. Yeah, Lorenzo made that pass. He's got a half a second up on Cook, but all he would have to do is have a very small error, and those guys will reel him right back in.
Yeah, so now that I can confirm this, did you know that the US and the UK gallons are not the same? Oh no! I keep getting interrupted by stuff on track. Unfortunately, we are here to watch the race, as Mike Cook loses now at least one, maybe two positions?
Brad.
No, just one.
Just one.
At least for the moment.
As he gets tapped, he might be losing more.
Amazing avoiding action by some of these drivers behind.
Oh, wait, look at that spin. What a job.
Honestly, that's an amazing turnaround.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Somebody, please.
I'm gonna have to replay this just for the turnaround here.
Yeah, you should. That was really impressive.
Yeah, unfortunately, he has a lot of front end damage from hitting the inside barrier there. And he did just get passed by Sebastian Rock. It looks like he might have a chance to overtake him here into Parabolica, but I assume he's going to be pitting almost immediately.
Yeah, 31 gallons is a lot more than your Kia Sorento can handle. It's a lot more than my little Honda Civic or my Volkswagen Jetta.
Yes. Anywho. Apparently, Mike Cook is not pitting right away. You can't really see it in my screen, probably because of how small it is, but he does have a lot of front-end damage. Meanwhile, Duong Bunglia looking on Garzosi, but decides not to attempt anything.
There's Mike Cook. Let's see, can I get it better? Oh, look at that front end. Oh! And Juicy Jake behind there looks pretty rough, too. Wow.
Yeah, they've both had incidents today, and not fun incidents.
Go back to Duong Bonglio. I'll find it. There we go. There he is. There's the man.
Yeah. So it looks like whoever's behind Duong Bunglio is Hopkins. Hopkins has an incident. I'm going to have to go to the Helicam. Yeah, I'm going to have to go to the Helicam to replay this, but this is, again, through the Lesmos, so unfortunately, I think you're proving me wrong in that the Lesmos are the more scary corner here today.
I think I want to say it's more high-speed corner, so it does have a tendency to sort of wash out on there, and then you're turning, like, a lot of times the wheel is still turning and it washes out, and it's just terrible. Whereas the other ones, like, oh, you hit the curb, like, yeah, sometimes you will spin, but other half of the time you just sort of like bounce around and lose a bunch of time. So you can generally manage that, like, oh, if I'm getting into the curb wrong, or I'm gonna hit it wrong, or you can kind of like predict what your car is gonna do and hang on. Whereas those Lesmos, it's just like all of a sudden somebody just came up behind you and smacked you. He's just trying to figure out what happened.
Yeah, so here in the main screen.
They're trying all kinds of stuff here.
Yeah. Oh no, Sebastian Rock had an incident through turn 1. Also, Stefan Pellerin also had an incident, but I'm not sure what that was. Oh.
So one thing they have to be careful here with all these chicanes and stuff. We saw this early on in the race when Nolan Witt went through the second turn and had to cut it. If you cut a turn enough and keep going, you have the possibility of getting an infraction for taking an advantage. Especially if you cut like the entirety of the first chicane. There's like that little road. People in the past have tried to go through there and cut through and kind of like skip it, pretend like, oh, I missed my braking point, and just kind of cut through. If you don't wait and make sure everybody who was in front of you goes by, you can be held accountable for taking an advantage. So when they're doing these cuts, they kind of have to be aware when I cut that corner, even if it wasn't intentional, to make sure they're not gaining positions by doing that.
We've seen that a little bit. That happened to Acomb a couple laps ago, where he just went absolutely deep into turn 1, but he did get that position back.
Yep.
While we've been going on this tirade, not quite tirade, but there have been a couple incidents. Duong Bonglio did get passed by Dan Thibodeau, and then JP May had a little bit of incidents. Cameron Hastings is off. Josh Parker almost hits him as he tries to recover. So I'm going to show the replay here in the bottom right. Cameron Hastings just has an oversteer moment through the first Lesmo, manages to keep it from going sideways, but Josh Parker, I'm fairly certain that he did not have white pants after this. I'm going to go ahead and watch an onboard replay of Josh Parker coming through this. So they're in the bottom right corner. See, that looks almost exactly like he's going to come back on track. Thankfully, no additional contact there. Apologize for interjecting on myself, but
Oh no, the race is more important. And now they're all spread out. Rock is in the pits. Trying to find where Hemian is. He is in the race. He has a cleared pit stop. So I don't know if when he came in and started, if it just automatically cleared it.
Well, I don't know if you can see in my picture, but he's currently sitting in his pit box without any wheels.
Oh, I see that. That is less than ideal. The poor man.
Unless he's somehow invented the hover Porsche, I don't think he's going to be finishing today's race.
No, it's confusing because the ACC leaderboard is not showing him in the pit. It's just showing him like he made his pit and he's still part of the race.
Yeah, so it could just be that he's trying to join and rejoin the server, but I don't know. Does it show how many laps down he is?
Well, that's confusing because it said 4, now it says 2. So there's something weird going on in the world.
Yeah, my assumption is that he's still in the server trying to race. It's just that the server keeps like bouncing him, kind of, because I know that you can sometimes continue racing after you get kicked out and then it'll rejoin you. But I would have assumed that it would have kicked him out for good at this point. But yeah. So looking at the fastest lap so far, we might as well give our P1 driver a little bit of screen time here, or a little bit more. I don't know if you'd mentioned it while I was away, but SIG SVG, fastest lap time of a 1:48.8. And so we are into the qualifying times already, and that's before we get to our low fuel running. But since we have a little bit of a lull as Lorenzo enters the pits, I'm going to go back to my gallon thing that I was trying to talk about a little bit since we started talking about units. Mac pointed it out in the chat there, but the UK gallon is actually slightly more than the US gallon. If I remember correctly, before the US and UK split, there were two types of gallons. There's a wine gallon, and I think a beer gallon or a whiskey gallon or something like that. But it was essentially wine versus, which is like a higher echelon drink, versus a some lower echelon drink. And so the US took the lower echelon drink, which is the beer gallon or something like that, and then the UK took the wine gallon. And then they've now differentiated themselves into the US liquid gallon and the imperial gallon.
Sorry, I was trying to fix my race control so that the rest of this race could be a little bit easier for me. I have one last ditch thought. I can enlarge your picture-in-picture for the short period of time it'll take me to restart ACC if we would like to attempt that.
If you'd like to, we can try that. Not the worst idea in the world.
No, I think I can handle it.
All right. All up to you. Meanwhile, Josh Parker has entered the pits. So this is the first of our top 3 drivers, I believe, to enter the pits. And also, speaking of top drivers, Nolan Witt is only a second behind from SIG SVG. Oh my, that is a big picture.
They have something to look at least. So yeah, you can put your broadcasting in
broadcast.
Yep.
Yeah, so Nolan Witt here is about a second behind SIG SVG. He has him in his sights. They are coming up on some blue flag traffic. I'm not quite sure who that is. I believe that's Lorenzo down in P16, but I could be mistaken. And so now SIG SVG is in a position where he wasn't really for the back half of last race. Now, of course, we are still not in the back half yet. We are just now getting in the middle. But he does have to think about how he wants to fight Nolan Witt through this race, because neither of them have damage, which means that neither of them, hopefully anyways, are going to have a bad pit stop. As I believe we have fixed... Have you fixed your...
I fixed it.
Race control yet? Hooray!
Yep. Hooray!
Go Pip. Meanwhile, SIG SVG has entered the pits. That's the wrong button. There we go. So our leader is into the pits, trying to undercut the guy behind him. Which, not too surprising. Because I doubt he wanted to get into a protracted battle with Nolan Witt. Witt was catching him by a good amount, and since he was in the slipstream at that point, I don't think he really would have had the chance to fight him on even terms. And if you waited to pit until after, there's a chance that they could pit at the same time and he wouldn't get that advantage. So I think this is the right choice for him to pit now. We also have Garzozi and Dan Thibodeau in the pits. From the comments, apparently Parker's dad is not watching the race today, so hopefully he was the bad luck charm. Well, I don't want to say it like I hope he's the bad luck charm. I just want to say that if he is a bad luck charm, or if there is a bad luck charm, I hope it's him because he's not here. If that makes sense. As someone goes off there, who was that?
Aaron went off. I will back that up. We can watch it all over again.
All right.
I was on the splitter cam. Coming through the second of the Lesmos. Yep. Yeah.
So
he didn't need to drive that line, but I guess he was worried about Mr. DC trying to like outbrake him and causing a problem, but that ended up throwing Polarin way wide into the sand trap.
Yeah, it looked like you were saying he just kind of braked late, missed the apex, and off he went.
Oh, Acom is going into the pits. Yeah, Hemian's still there. Sorry, I had to look.
Yep. No, you're good. Nolan Witt is also doing his pit stop right now. I'm going to go ahead and quickly look at our statistics just to see how long of a pit stop everyone had. So SIG SVG had a 30-second or a 36-second pit stop. So that's 6 seconds longer than what I would call perfect. Or maybe 4 seconds. Perfect might be 32 seconds. I think it's 32 seconds. So Nolan Witt does have a chance to one-up him as Juicy Jake goes into the pits. I saw a yellow flag. So we're going to have the same issue that we had a few weeks ago where every time someone pits, it causes a yellow flag. But Nolan Witt did have a 2-second faster pit stop than SIG SVG. He's coming out of the pits right now.
Ooh.
We're going to go into T2 or TV2, and we will see that Nolan Witt has kept him behind.
Ooh.
So this is now Nolan Witt's race, but they are right next to each other, and Nolan Witt will have slightly colder tires. Now, that's not as big of an issue on this track because it's not quite as twisty and turny, but it could affect stuff.
I think I say it could affect stuff. We don't know what.
Stuff. What that stuff is, I will never know, but it could affect it. Yeah, so no good chances really to overtake soon, I don't think. But with how close SIG SVG is, he might have a chance later. Or in Sector 3. Oh, were we both in the wing cam?
Yeah, I was like, oh, let's
Oops.
just try something different. I'll go wind cam. And then I looked and I'm like, wait, we're both in the wind cam. That's not going to work. Look at Sig right up his bumper.
Yeah, SIG SVG is going to get a better exit, I think, out of Ascari. Only slightly better, though.
Yeah, I mean...
He will get the slipstream. Go ahead.
He will, but it's going to be tough to come in here and try to take a line on Parabolica.
Ooh.
He's going to have to just get a really good exit.
Well, I don't know about SIG SVG getting a good exit, but Nolan Witt did not get a good exit. He went deep into the corner, broke a little bit too late, missed the apex. And so this gives SIG SVG a really good shot down here into turn 1.
As Nolan's guarding the inside line going into it. Oh, squeezing. Oh, that was dirty.
Oh. So, yeah. That sucks. It looked like SIG SVG didn't realize that Sebastian Rock was there ahead of him. Outbroke himself, almost hit Sebastian Rock, and in trying to avoid him, hit Nolan Witt. So really hoping that there's not too much damage between either of those cars.
Yep, they've both done their pit stops. Everybody has at this point. They're going to have to live with whatever damage they've taken. Meanwhile, in the back, Duong Bonglio and Leader have switched positions.
Yeah, Duong Bonglio just came out of the pits. So definitely not quite even footing there into turn 1, but they are right next to each other.
Let's hope them being next to each other turns out better than our leaders being next to each other.
Yeah. See, with that incident, even if SIG SVG does get past Nolan Witt, he will probably have to pull a really good gap in order to actually get the race win, because I would assume that'll at least be 5-second penalty, if not 10 seconds.
Yeah, and now SIG did get the fastest lap so far with a 148.8. I always look at the wrong one. 148.827. So he's got that point so far.
Yeah, but if I remember correctly, that was from his first stint. Yeah. So he does have a lot more time, chance to improve that time, as well as other people.
Yep.
Speaking of fastest lap, Cameron Hastings just took fastest lap away from his teammate.
Ooh.
With a 148.7.
There's a little bit of shade going on in the chat as Parker's brother has offered his services as a pit crew, but I'm not sure if that's Mom Parker or Sister Parker, but she begs to differ on his tire changing skills.
See, maybe he's offering his services to people that aren't his brother so he can intentionally mess them up.
Ah, that may be true.
Yeah, I do believe that is Mama Bird there, though. Meanwhile, at the back, Ian Gilchrist had a way wide... What is wrong with Hopkins? I don't know if you're able to get a good view of it, but Hopkins has his... whatever you call that, hood, like, all the way sticking up. We can look at that a little bit later, though, because we have a much better battle here out front.
So, yes, I think you're right. Brother Parker is offering his services to Nolan Witt as a pit crew member. Should he need his tire changed, he will whip his phone out and swiftly call roadside assistance and get that taken care of.
Yeah, I don't know if AAA can get there within 30 seconds to get that finished.
Look at this. Look at this. We know what turn this is.
That we do.
Happens. Look what happens.
Oh, there's contact.
Oh, contact is bad.
Oh, that was between Dan Thibodeau and Garcia, I think.
So. Yeah.
Yeah, so we saved all of our chaos for the racing portion and not the starting portion, apparently.
I agree on the work smarter, not harder.
I mean, if it works, it works. Might be more expensive than knowing how to change your own tire, but you know, not everyone can learn everything.
If you can change your own tire and you're on the side of the road, it is faster than sitting around and waiting for roadside assistance. But I will say that in a lot of new cars, we recently got the Civic Hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a spare tire.
What?
There's no spare tire. You get this little, like, pump your tire up, fix it kit thing, but no spare tire. What? SIG goes flying off of your favorite turn.
See? My point, your point. They keep counterbalancing.
Sebastian Rock sitting in the sand, so see if I can get my replay doesn't want to work.
Here, well, maybe I can't show it either. It's more than 15 seconds back. So he's been sitting there a minute.
Wow, that's why it's not working. He's been sitting there for a hot minute.
I will see if I can go back a little bit further and find it.
Josh Parker is comfortably sitting in P4. He's got a almost 2-second lead back to Brian Acomb.
All right, I think I may have found it. There we go. So yeah, this is through the Lesmos. That almost looks intentional after the initial incident, because he was going through Lesmo 1, went wide, and then just turned left into the barrier there. So I kind of think that may have just been a crash out, because he's been at the back of the pack for most of this race.
Looks like
As we
Brian
see
Acomb
Acomb.
just decided he didn't want to do the first chicane.
At least he took the actual escape road and did it like you're supposed to.
He did.
Because most people will just cut through that and run through all of those barriers there. But I'm not going to say you will avoid penalty by doing that, because I can't say that's the truth, because I don't know. You will get a better penalty, or your penalty will be a lot less, as Lorenzo gets past Tuong Bonglio. Wasn't sure what happened there. So I'm going to show a replay of that.
Tuong Bonglio just made a minor error, and Lorenzo's been really driving well tonight. He's made quite a few nice passes.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job today. I would pull up our biggest movers, but I'm going to have to do that manually since I had to reset my ACC about halfway through the race.
Yeah, I
Or
can't
a quarter
help
of the way
you
through the
either,
race.
'cause I did do the same thing.
All right. So if you will give me just a second, I will pull up our qualifying results and go through this manually.
To answer the question in the chat, the only Thibodeau I see on the track right now is Dan. So no, we do not have the other Thibodeaus. To answer the earlier thought of going through that side road, and even if you were to hit the barriers in avoiding an incident, you won't get, I don't believe you get penalized for hitting them. You would only get penalized if, because you would hit them, you'd be able to go quite quickly through there, way faster you could have ever taken the turns.
Oh no, Lorenzo!
As Lorenzo does something similar. Now what I want to do is actually go back and see what he does here. So what Lorenzo's doing now, it depends on if he gives that spot. I'm not sure if he's going to be asked to give that spot back.
I think he did give it back.
He did. So if he had taken a spot doing what he just did, the person he took it from could submit a ticket saying that they took an advantage by going through there.
Yeah.
So you don't... Whoa! And there, see? You see what
As
happens?
Long goes wide there.
Yeah. So it's not that you can't go through there. It's you just can't go through there and just come flying back onto track and seeing how much time you can get on the next guy.
Yeah. So, quick update on our biggest movers. It's Neil Leader has moved up, I believe, 6 positions, and then Acomb and Garzosi have both moved up 1 less than Leader. So, and most of that is due to chaos ahead of them, is what I'll call. Mainly drivers like Juicy Jake and Glenn Jacobs, or Jacobs. I don't know if Glenn is correct, but mostly from drivers ahead of them having incidents, unfortunately. Meanwhile, on our main screen, we have Garcia and Tuong Bonglio going side by side into. He does have the inside line, but he's not going as fast. He will beat him on the brakes as long as he can hold it, and he can't.
So he's going to have to give that spot back.
And he does.
He does. Good boy.
Yeah. Meanwhile, up at the front, SIG SVG has caught back up to Nolan Witt and is about 3/10 back, but there's a blue flagger ahead of them. So SIG SVG will not get really good opportunity to pass down the back straight. And he won't even get to the blue flagger before Parabolica, so he'll be stuck behind the blue flagger.
Oh. That was a little bit scary, Sig. Gets past them.
You don't often see a McLaren outbraking a Ferrari there. So.
Ooh, well, he's going to have to work and try to catch back up. Right now, the closest track is Garcia and Tuong Bonglio still.
Yeah, Sig SVG has caught up to him multiple times, at least twice now. So it's definitely possible for him to get back up to him, but we've not seen him be able to make a clean pass on him yet.
And it's
So-
if you look at the best laps of Sig and Wit, Sig did get the fastest lap back. It's a 147.9. Nolan Witt's best lap is a 148.6. So, yeah, I mean, Sig's got the pace, but it might be that Nolan is just more consistent today.
It could very well be. The other interesting thing that I'll point out is that there's only four drivers who've broken into the 148. Meanwhile, Garzozi has had an incident and has RTG'd. So give me a second, I will replay this.
Oh, I got it.
Or you will.
I got it.
Well, I'm already playing it, so I'll go watch someone else.
What?
Ugh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's a
I've
shame.
not seen someone do that before.
No, and Garzozi was actually doing quite well this race. Parker is now, well, maybe not. He had a little bit of a ooh-ah moment, I guess, but...
Yeah,
Where
I'll
is
go
he?
ahead and
There he
replay
is.
it here. Yeah, So yeah, a little bit of a sideways moment, but he held it out of Ascari.
Well done.
Just wanted to play Tokyo Drift.
Well, I was going to say he's got lots of space around him, but if Brian Acom's only 2 seconds behind, so he can't really afford to make too many major errors.
Yeah. Although he did just almost get half a second back down, I believe, the back straight. I could be wrong, though. And then he lost it immediately in the braking zone because, Lexus things.
Yep.
Garcia's going side by side with Duong Bonglio again. We'll see if he can actually hold it on the brakes this time. It doesn't look like he's close enough to try anything this time. He got out of the slipstream, I think, too early, though. But Duong Bonglio goes deep. So they trade going deep. This time, Duong Bonglio does not have to give a position back, though, because he lost the position anyways.
And it may well have been that Emil was just sticking his nose out to see what would happen, to see what Duong Bonglio would do. It just kind of playing a mind game with it, which is very much a racing tactic. It's mess with you a little bit, see if you make a mistake, so it makes my job easier.
Yep.
Go me.
Yeah, dummy moves are some of the best ways to get people out of your way. Because you make them think a lot more, and when you start thinking about how you're going to be racing, you race worse because you're not able to get into that muscle memory.
You really need to muscle memory it. When you start to overthink it, it all just goes to pot.
Yep.
We've all been there.
Yeah, I've been there lots of times this season. Duong Bonglio and Garcia are going side by side again into Parabolica.
These two
Emil
are
Garcia
really
again
racing
has
hard.
lost it. Yeah, they've been... Oh, Duong Bonglio goes way wide through Parabolica. That should give Garcia the chance to get past him. But I almost wonder if he doesn't want to get past him too quickly, because if that Lexus gets in the slipstream of the Ford, which I'm surprised he's not, maybe he doesn't need it. Maybe as they get back side by side again already. Although Garcia will have the preferred line again, as Duong Bonglio goes wide,
Aw.
way wide,
You know,
and that will give Dan Thibodeau his position as well.
we were enjoying that battle. I'm sure he was too.
I would hope so. Yeah, that was a really good battle, and then I think Duong Bonglio just had an oversteer moment on the exit of the first chicane, or the first turn. Because I could be entirely wrong on this, but the best way to do the turn 1 chicane is to get on the gas a little bit in between turns 1 and 2, just so you can get through that zone a little bit quicker.
Yep.
As Ecom goes a little deep.
Yes, right.
All right, glad to hear I'm right.
Yep.
Always helpful. So we now have a Juicy Jake fan here. Juicy Jake making his way back up to P11 after his early incidents. Ooh. Acomb going a little deep. Jacobs has gone off into the second Lesmo.
I
I'll
told
show
you.
it in the tip down here.
It's not. And it's always the second one too. That right there, that's the move I do all the time.
And that is a lot of damage there on the front end of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll take a park in the dirt to that parking into the wall.
Yeah. So, yeah. Lesmo 2, definitely not a good corner. As Acomb... Why does Acomb have a yellow flag? Oh, it's the Lesmos again! This time it was the exit of Lesmo 1, though, so... I honestly don't know how he didn't hit something.
Kudos for him.
Yeah. Glenn Jacobs also has another... Oh, no, he's just entering the pits. That's the yellow flag incident. As Mike Cook, also with some damage, gets past JP May, but JP May looking to fight it back.
He is. If you're playing that there, I'm gonna see if I can cut back to how they went through this first chicane, because it looked a little bit.
Ah. Yeah, so JP May just going deep. Unfortunate there.
Yep.
Back up toward the front. Sig SVG is now within a half second, and he has an oversteer moment, of course. You know how I said I didn't want to commentators curse anyone?
Maybe I'll start bringing the camera up to say when he
All right.
catches up to Nolan next time. You're not allowed to watch him anymore.
I think I can live with that.
Okay, you can go watch Mr. May here. I'll swap.
All right.
He's
So
gonna.
sorry. Looking back down to Cliff Hemian, it looks like he's done a lap at some point because I do now have lap registered for him, but I have no clue where he is because it still looks like he's in the pits for me.
Yep. I too see that. So it looks
JP
like
May
the
pulling out of the
AMG
slipstream.
is just.
You were saying?
Looks like the AMG is really, really coming down that straight much faster than the BMW.
Yeah, the slipstream really will help there. I think the Mercedes is at least decent in straight line speed. I don't know if it's really good or really bad, but it definitely doesn't look bad.
I think it's pretty decent.
Glenn Jacobs have a little bit of an oversteer moment there, but manages to keep it ahead. Meanwhile, a little bit further back. Yeah. You're already watching that, so I'll go back to JP May.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're the main broadcaster, not me.
Hey, great minds think alike, you know?
That they do. Anthony Hopkins has an off. I'm not going to be able to watch it, though, because we have two side-by-side actions here. JP May and Mike Cook are side-by-side. JP May just managing to avoid contact there with Mike Cook.
Yeah, Hopkins
Hopkins
RTG,
having more.
he just said forget it.
Yeah. Hopkins has not had a good last couple races. I won't bring up what happened to him last, because it was really unfortunate for him, but he did not have a good time, and he's not having a. It's really unfortunate to see. It's something that I am all too fond of, though, so my heart goes out to him.
Well, I mean, as much as I love Kailami, it can be an unforgiving track. There are parts of that are really tough, and if you mess up, you mess up hard. And I feel like, what is this? A Monza.
JP May almost did a great job there into turn 1, just slightly overcooked it. I think he would have held it if he'd braked like 5 meters sooner.
I'm wondering if May is just being uber cautious, going like not wanting to go through there side by side or with him too close, figuring fine, I'm just gonna cut it, let him get ahead, or do what I have to rather than have an incident.
I think it's more that he's just
Overcooking
not
it.
breaking.
Yeah.
I think he's just going in too deep. So it might be that he's trying to take qualifying in with tires that really aren't built for it anymore, as we are now. I just now noticed 3.5 minutes till the race end. So it could just be that he's on worse brakes with worse tires than was used to during qualifying, so he's expecting to be able to brake a little bit better than he actually is able to.
I think that after the next set of turns, I'm going to lean toward that being the answer. But Monza is a deceptively difficult track, I've always felt. I mean, look at the map. It just looks like a bunch of straights with a couple little bends. But those bends are tough.
Yeah, we've seen the incidents through both Lesmos and then also Ascari. We've seen people going way deep into turn 1. Hopefully JP May can hold on to it this time. He has gotten fully past him, so he doesn't have to worry about outbraking Glenn Jacobs. He just has to worry about holding it through the corner.
Yep, and Glenn Jacobs slotting in behind, letting him know I'm not gonna, and he, just overdoes it again.
He's done so good in all these laps, but he just keeps giving it back up. There's a part of me that wonders if he's practicing to do like a last lap pass.
I don't know.
But
I wouldn't know why you would do that.
I don't either. He does have a better second chicane though, so. No, while we were watching that battle, Lorenzo did get past, Lorenzo got passed by Garcia and is now falling back into the clutches of Dan Thibodeau, so I believe Lorenzo may.
May gets past Cook again. I forgot. Darn it. Oh, Thibodeau is up to Lorenzo, and Sig SVG has caught up to Nolan Witt up front again. I'll go watch him.
Yeah, I'll let you watch him, so I don't cause any issues again between those two.
All right, you're not allowed to watch him. Sig SVG getting past Nolan Witt.
Yeah, but Nolan Witt is now back in the slipstream.
He is.
So he might have a chance to get back past him. We've seen... Oh, no! In the pip, Lorenzo went deep and hit Dan Thibodeau, and there's a pileup. They've also collected Duong Bonglio.
Oh, what a mess.
So Dan Thibodeau on the outside of turn 1 with some major damage. So on the side of turn 2, also with major damage. Duong Bonglio, I think, managed to get through it mostly unharmed, but I'm going to go back and watch this replay. See how Lorenzo going way deep on the brakes, absolutely clobbering Dan Thibodeau, and then Andrew Duong Bonglio going deep on the brakes there, probably just kind of in sympathy. But what that has allowed is Juicy Jake to catch up to Andrew Duong Bonglio, so they should now be able to be fighting against each other for that P8 position.
And I believe they are. Take a look at that. Duong Bonglio is right up behind Juicy Jake as they come into the next turn side by side.
Yeah, so this will be an interesting battle to see between the Lexus and the Ferrari. They both have slippery cars in that they both can have really great top line speed, but it's in very different ways because the Ferrari gets its top line speed because it has efficient aero. The Lexus gets its straight line speed because it has no aero. Is the best way I can put it. As Dwangmongli goes deep and gives Juicy Jake the position, at least for now.
For now.
Also, out front, I believe Nolan Witt had an issue last lap because his last lap was a 154. And SVG now has a 12-second gap back to him.
Yeah, I mean, when SVG... Well, if these guys... Somebody tries to take the turn right, and it doesn't
Oh,
end
now someone's
well.
backwards.
Wang Bonglu. Looks like he followed.
Lorenzo and Gilchrist are also having yellow moments in completely separate areas of the track.
My word. Guys, it's not that much left. We can do it. Looks like Lorenzo has... What? No, Lorenzo just said enough. I'm done. Pulls it over and parks it. Maybe he didn't have enough fuel. I don't know. Acom here now had a yellow flag as he hit your favorite turn and...
Oh, we missed the finish of the race.
Oh my word, it's a SIG SVG finishing the race in P1, Nolan Witt P2.
Hastings almost made a last... He almost made a last lap pass for P2. I kind of was able to catch it in the replay. Was not able to get there.
There's celebratory donuts in the grass by these two teammates. Parker comes through on P4, Acom P5. Nolan Leaders coming across for P6. Emil Garcia coming down the line to take P7. Juicy Jake coming around Parabolica to finish out his lap.
Yeah. Sorry, just an interjection. I am showing what happened at the end of the race with Nolan Witt and Cameron Hastings in the pit. It looks like Nolan Witt... Oh, it just ended. Yeah, I think Nolan Witt had an issue, maybe with fuel or something like that. But I could be wrong.
When Sig got past him, he almost immediately got a 1.5 second gap, and then it just went from there. So we'll find out in the interviews which are coming. Hopefully I can
Yeah, we'll get to see who finished where in just a moment once we get through the actual finishing portion. To see who finished where, I will make sure to screenshot who's where. But
okay, nice.
Since our gold, silver, and I believe team championships, or our gold and silver championships were won by teammates who also won the team championship, I think we should pull them up at the same time. How about you?
Okay, I think that would be fun.
Although I don't know if we might want to pull up Nolan Witt first, just so we
I usually
P2
save
perspective.
P1 for last. So if we're gonna pull,
Yeah, because they finished P3 and P1, so might as well do P2.
All right.
Assuming he joins anyways. Because I do not see him yet in the race chat.
Well.
But also, I don't know why the race isn't ending.
Because you have Lorenzo sitting in the pit. He's not finishing the race. It's not pushing it forward.
Yeah. Well,
unfortunately.
Hopefully he leaves at some point then, I guess. And then we can get our screenshot. But either way, that was an amazing race with second... I'm not going to say incident with Nolan Witt, but a last-second almost issue is what I'll call it. With Nolan Witt having a moment through a Ascari, and then just barely hanging on to P2 there.
So I'm going to try to find Nolan for us. I'm going to try to dig him up. If I can. I'm going to have to go the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, I see him typing in chat, so I will ping him and see if he wants to.
Yeah, that's
come
all I
up.
was gonna do was ping him, but I realized I don't have the. There we go. The server has ended. Stig SPG won, Nolan Witt P2, and Cameron Hastings P3, also the silver winner of our race this evening.
Yeah,
And you're
so
the
amazing
Gonkulation
job.
man. So you're the Gonkulation man, so I can't even commentate on how this is going to affect the overall standings.
Well, I do believe that solidifies Sig SVG, Cameron Hastings, and whatever. Yeah, those two winning both their individual championships and also the team championship. I will hold off on saying that for certain until we get them both in here, because I hope that the server will update. But I believe Nolan Wade is now ready for.
Yay!
Unfortunately, I think my mouse has died, so I need to fix that.
Okay, I will grab him for you. I think. Hello,
think he's here.
Nolan, and welcome to the booth.
Howdy, howdy.
Howdy. So, I'm gonna just come out with it. The question in everybody's mind is what happened in that last lap.
It ain't got no gas in it.
Oh,
Ah,
oh
Yep.
no.
Was one lap short, so had to try to save and ran out right as I crossed the line.
And now, was that due to just miscalculation, or did you just couldn't put that much
Yeah,
in?
probably mostly miscalculation. I mean, I was only one lap short. You know, sometimes I don't know if in this game if drafting saves you fuel, but maybe that also. I wasn't expecting to not have any traffic in front of me almost all race.
Mm. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. But how was the race otherwise? You got quite a few battles in there.
Yeah, it was lots of fun. I blew T1 on my own, and I went ahead and let Sig pass because I didn't want to, get an advantage, and he pulled away. Kind of caught him as his tires were wearing, I think. Got lucky and got ahead of him after the pits, and then we had a tiny T1 incident with some lap traffic, but it was a lot of fun, looking in my mirror a lot for Sig and trying to catch up to him at the beginning, and it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. I'm really glad to hear that you at least enjoyed this race and it was fun for you and you had a good time. You did really well, even in spite of the fuel issues. Trey, do you have anything you want to add or ask?
no, nothing really too big. Actually, no, I will ask one. So when there was an incident in turn 1 with you and SV, when there was a blue flag ahead of you, and it looks like you made contact while you were Sig SVG was trying to get avoiding action. Did that have any major implications for how you were able to?
No, I don't think it really made any big difference for either of us, luckily. I mean, I might have got even a slight advantage because I think the lap traffic maybe was a little bit slow into that turn. Sig kind of came over and just barely caught my nose and kind of turned himself on my nose, but luckily neither of us really seemed to suffer too much from it.
Awesome. I think I asked him to do some calculations, so I hope that I didn't portray it. Didn't get pulled out of be in the middle of something.
No, you're good. The one thing I will say is that Nolan Witt, I don't want to say it for certain, but I do believe you. Unfortunately, I don't think you definitely didn't win the championship, but I do believe you secured P3.
Yep.
So obviously not an overall championship win, but never hurts to be on the podium. So great job there.
Thank you.
Awesome. So anyone you would like to give a shout out to while you're up here?
Shout out to my teammate Hopkins, and shout out to my other friends, Hopkins brothers and Resonance and all them. That's about it.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing you next season in whatever division you find yourself in.
Sounds good. It was a good season. I enjoyed it a lot.
Awesome. Have a great night.
You too.
All right,
All
Trey,
right.
is you still have a bad mouse or
I have fixed my mouse, thankfully. The websites have not updated, but I am more confident than I was last time, or last season about my my last week calculation. So I do believe that SIG SVG and Cameron Hastings are your silver, gold, and team champions.
awesome? So we want to bring them up together.
Why not?
All right, I'll let you grab Sig. I'll grab Cameron.
All right. Hopefully we don't throw it up too big, because I think SIG is running the race review, but interviews are more
Oh.
important.
Oh. He is. I would just give him a quick message. Tell him that you want to grab him.
Well, I've messaged them both. I'm giving them a 1 minute warning.
Oh, I'm taking.
He
I'm
said
taking
okay, so
Cameron
we're pulling
now.
him up now. All right.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh,
Cameron.
Dragged. Okay, wait. I'll continue replay review after. Hello.
Hello.
Sorry to pull you away from that, but Sig and Cameron, welcome to the booth. And I, unless I'm wrong with my calculations, I believe you two have both won gold, silver, and the team championship. I will check that just
I'm
to be
pretty
sure.
sure the silver and the team one.
Wait,
is
for
true.
real?
I'm
Wait,
not
what is?
sure about gold.
Yeah, I had a big gap with me and Cliff. I think I
Yeah.
had to outscore him by what was it?
You had to
67
outscore him by
points?
66 points.
Okay.
From our timing sheets, Cliff Hemian was never in the race, at least
Uh-huh.
not on our screens.
Oh no,
could-
he was having connection issues.
Yeah, he was having all sorts of connection issues, but we could only see him stuck in the pit lane with no tires. It might be the ACCSM actually has him finishing the race, but at least from our point of view, you guys, he was not able to finish the race. I will check that to make sure on the results page, but either way, you had an amazing finish this race. Sig, obviously you won the race, and Cameron, you got an amazing P3.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Cam, how are we feeling? I think at the very least we have the team championship, right?
Yeah.
I'm
So-
pretty sure.
Yeah, so official standings from the results page, or at least current official standings, notwithstanding penalties. Sig SVG finished first place. Cliff Hemian finished 20th place. And so Cliff Hemian had to finish 16th or better, if I'm remembering correctly. So I will give you the preliminary championship.
Holy shit! It actually.
So
actually
congratulations
happened?
on the clean sweep.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
Holy
By the
shit!
way- that's 2 shoeies.
2 shoeies
Yep.
for at once. Okay, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
no skimping out on us.
Yep.
To
Well,
what?
I guess shoeies. I
Shoeies.
guess you know what Daniel Ricciardo did when he won the races.
Yeah, you take off your racing shoe with all the sweat in it, and you
Oh,
pour
yep,
some kind
yep,
of champagne.
I do.
But
So,
yeah,
yeah.
This race in Monza, I thought Witt for sure would win the race, because I think close to when I was about to pit, my pace just dropped off a cliff. I think my tires were just gone. So then I pitted, and then I did have some pace, but towards the end, I started to lose pace again because I think my tires are going. But then on like the penultimate lap, he just let me by. And I did message him about it in DeFi chat. He was struggling with fuel. So
And
Yeah,
I
we-
tried
we-
to chase him down and blew the last.
yeah.
Yeah, I was able to just catch your fun little battle into like Parabolica, and we interviewed him just before we got you guys, and yeah, he was having massive fuel issues of just not being able to fit enough into the car. But
Oh, okay.
either way, that was a great race. Although Sig, you did have issues into turn one with trying to avoid and then hitting a blue flag. Did you just outbrake yourself, or?
Well, I chose. I guess I did outbrake myself a little bit because I hit the brakes at what I usually hit, which wasn't necessarily the best idea considering, there's a car right in front of me, so there's not as much room as there usually is. So I think that is definitely my fault. And then after that, I had to try and take avoiding action. I hit with obviously. So I think that's definitely on me. So yeah, I'll probably maybe take a little bit of a penalty for that, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is, even if you do get a penalty, you finish ahead of Wit by 14 seconds. So unless you manage to somehow get a 2-20-second penalty, which I don't think you will. Of course, I'm not a steward, so don't take my word as law. But I do think you'll still hold on to it. And
okay.
So if you do get a 20-second penalty, that will drop you down to P3, which I think would take you out of the Gold Championship. But so we're gonna hold you in suspense for another week, folks.
Oh man.
Till Friday.
Dang. Fun for you, Sig.
Yeah, 1 week of just sweating my balls off, hoping that I win. That's something fun.
Yeah, but either way, it was a great race between you guys. Steph, do you have any other questions for them?
Well, I could always ask the generic, our final question, which is, do you want to give a shout out to anybody? But your teammate's already here, so you don't get that one anymore.
Well, Kevin, do you want to go first?
I don't really have many shout outs. I guess just Sig, really.
Yeah.
Well, we said teammates aren't allowed, so.
He's been me faster.
That's okay. Okay.
We have been doing a lot of practice together, just discussing strategy. Although on last week my strategy call almost blew both our races up with the fuel. We both finished with like less than a liter of fuel in the tank.
Yep, finished, and I ran out of gas doing donuts after.
See, that sounds like perfect strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, shout out to my friends who are always watching: Abdiel, Ethan, Jarrett, Jillian, Brandon. I think I've shouted them out every time I've gotten on here, but they've been very, very supportive, And yeah, shout out to Cliff as well. He was just such a great competitor, and with the amateur, he's just a really nice guy. It's a damn shame he had connection issues, though, which it's very unfortunate, but he's just a really good competitor, and I think at least I did see the stream from last week. I saw your comments on me potentially moving up to D4, which I think at this point is kind of it's probably gonna happen. Yeah,
I would expect both of you to move up to D4.
Yeah, Cameron... so hopefully Cliff goes to D4 as well. I definitely want to have a wheel-to-wheel battle with him, because that's the one thing we weren't able to do during the whole season.
Yeah, I would fully expect Sig. You definitely are going to D4. Cameron, I would probably expect you to go to D4. You at least deserved to be gold this at the end of this season instead of silver, but we passed the promotion before we could do that. So
yeah, and I had a rough,
but either way, congrats.
Rough start to the season.
Sounds like me.
As long as you don't have a rough start, middle, and end, that's what matters.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. Congratulations on all of your wins, because, I mean, tonight was pretty much a clean sweep for the two of you.
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So, and we will let you get back down to the division mates and wrapping up your race. Thank you for joining us up here.
All right, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for giving us good races to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, thank you, and we'll see you later. Send them back down if I can find them. Apparently everyone already left the D5, D6 chat.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I sent them back down, but yeah, they're by themselves. So.
Oops. Oh well.
Anyway,
Hopefully it's because they didn't have that many stuff to look through.
Hopefully.
Or many penalties.
Or they're just like, it's the end of the season, I'm done. Anyhow, it is the end of the season, and sadly we are done. I don't think we have a start date for the next one yet. Usually it's about a month between the two or so. So stay tuned, stay posted. You can watch Divisions 1 and 3 on, as they repeat, but on replay here on YouTube if you would like. And also tomorrow night, Divisions 2, 4 with my wonderful co-host Trey Morgan here. He's going to be racing D4, so you should go over there and watch him tomorrow night. D6 will also be racing. You can catch all of those here on YouTube, and you will be able to catch D2 over on Twitch. Thank you for joining us. An extra shout out to the Parker clan for joining us every week. It made it very fun.
Very much so.
Yes, and we look forward to, well, wherever we end up next season in our commentary world.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun this season. Hopefully the off season goes smoothly for all of us. We get some good rest and relaxation. Possibly some testing of other cars if you want to switch cars, or maybe just lay off the racing a little bit so you can get all back in.
Definitely. Anyway, thank you all and good night.
Have a good night.